Here we are with the bracket that I have made, and I've completed this one and powder coated it a blue, or anodized it actually. It's an aluminium anodized, I think, that color, and as you see, this is what we're trying to achieve. I think it looks really cool. With a few little added on radiuses and chamfers in the hole. So these little holes, they've got chamfers, which are little 45-degree sort of cuts. And on the edges of all these little here, I've put tiny little radiuses on all those edges. So this is what we're trying to achieve. I am going to start a new one. I do have this document here in the background with all the measurements on it, which you don't really need if you're using Dude's YouTube like this, Arnold's Roundtree. So yeah, you can just watch his video and do the measurements as he does, or use the PDF, but you'll notice I've got both there in the background, so if I ever miss what he says, I can just pause for a second. Alright, let's get going. I noticed Aaron's using an older version, so he's using shortcuts and a slightly older version, so I'm going to redo it. So if I go up here and go File, New Design, this is what it'll look like. Alright, let's get going. The first thing you should do is probably save it. So click on Save and call this bracket, or whatever you want to call it. Bracket, looks kind of like a steering bracket, so I might call it a steering bracket, steering rack bracket, or something like that. And I'm putting it in a folder. And then there it is, new name. I am going to start with a sketch. So again, click on the sketch. It'll prompt me to say, well, pick a side of the box basically you want to draw on, front, side, or top. I'm going to go for top, so I can do top or top, this flat plane here. So I'm going to click it and it'll spin around for me. Alright, circle, and remember he's using shortcuts, so you can see if I hover it, it says, if I just press C on the keyboard, it'll go for circle. I don't use keyboard shortcuts, but hey, the bloke in the video does. Circle. There's two options here. He just clicks and drags. That's one option. Or you can click and write the actual number. So I think that's supposed to be 20. Enter. Circle again. And notice here, if I just make any old measurement up, I can change it by going here to dimension. And when I click on it, I can then change it to what it's supposed to be. And I think it's supposed to be 32, and you'll see here 32 and 20. All right. Then what he does is goes and draws a line, a series of lines, actually 2, 4, 5 lines off this circle. It doesn't really matter where, so I could just click on this circle somewhere and draw it. So say I go here, here, there, somewhere random. Let's do it particularly random. Here, here, and then he does some tricky thing. He says, oh, I'll get it tangential. See how there's that little blue circle with a line on it? You don't have to, but he does. Let's just pick any old point. Okay. He then goes and does some keyboard shortcut to get those lines right. And one of them is he goes up here to select. Okay, so I might change some of the measurements and then do the modifications that he does. So for instance, he goes in here and makes it 40 by 60, I think it is. Yes, 60. All right, he goes up here and goes, oops. Dimension, this line here is supposed to be 40. Enter. He then goes over here, or something like this, and says that's supposed to be 60. Alright, this bottom line should be the same. And he does use, I could go down here and click on it and go, this is supposed to be 40 as well. But I'll show you what he does. So I'll undo that. He goes in and says, select this line, and holds shift down and goes that. And he says, notice that this little bar just changed, and now it says, what do you want to do? Do you want to make these lines horizontal or vertical, coincident? So that's a maths word. That's why maths is important. Coincident, tangential, which again is a line at 90 degrees to the edge of the circle. Equal, parallel, blah, 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 blah. Equal, he does equal. Okay, so he clicks that, and it probably should make it the same length. So let's try that again. This one, I think what you do is delete. Why doesn't it do it? Let me try it again. Line, shift, line. There's an error message. What is it saying? Failed to solve, please resolve dimension constraints. I think this dimension needs to go like that. I think, yeah, I think I must have clicked on dimension for some reason. So try it again. Select this line and that line and equal. And now you see these little constraint things, little grey things have appeared. They're saying that and that are constrained together. So that's a funky way of making this and this 40 mils. Yeah, you can dimension it, or you can click them and make them equal in size. All right, there's a couple little things he also does. He clicks on this line. So let's go select the line here. And then he does go up here and says, I want this to be tangential to this circle. So if you click this circle, you'll see there it just made the line tangential. Don't know how else to explain it, which is basically means if you drew I think from maths, if you draw a line from the middle of the circle out, it's at 90 degrees to that line. So it's kind of 90 degrees to the edge of the circle. The other way to do it is you click on the line, click shift, and then click that. But it did it by magic just then. It still doesn't look right. Okay, this is not symmetrical. The circle is higher up in this, and this is where he goes and draws a line. So I'm going to go and draw a line. He draws a line from the center of the circle out the back here. All right, it doesn't matter where, you just go click. All right, so I've just drawn a line, press escape, and this line here, and I'm clicking on it. So I don't want it to be an actual line. I want it to be an invisible line, and he calls it a construction line. So he goes over here and he says line type. I've got a construction line or a center line. I could probably use center line. I think he does use construction. And he clicks it and it makes it dotted. Just means it's not an actual line, it's just an imaginary kind of style of line. So then what he does is he goes into dimensions and says, well, I want the line from here to this line here. Oops, let it go. Escape, he goes dimension to here and out. And this line should be half of 60, so it should be 30. And you'll see there it goes magically symmetrical. And I believe if I flip this object around, yeah, it does. It is symmetrical now. So that's how he gets that image right. I'm just looking at that now and thinking, hang on a second, that's not 100% right. If you click on his drawing here, from the edge of the bracket to the middle of the circle, it should be 88. And mine is clearly not 88. So let's go dimension that. Let's go center of the circle to the line. This measurement here should be 88. Boom. And let's just go and have a look now. That's pretty proportional to what we're supposed to be doing. All right, I might stop the sketch there for a minute, look at it. That is our flat basic outline, and then he goes and pulls those circles up and pushes a little edge down. Let's go give this bracket its body or its thickness. So we're going to extrude. I'll go up here to extrude. E is a shortcut. And what do I want to extrude? And it'll say what type of extrusion, a thin thing, I don't know what, anyway, we're doing an extrude. Profile, select the bit you want. I could select this one or this one or this one. We've got options here. So I'm going to, at the moment, do this, and I'm going to send it, I think in the video he sends it down. So at the moment, if I write 10, it comes up 10, but if I write minus 10, I think, ooh, minus 100, minus 10. Enter. All right. The other thing he does in his video, he says, hang on a second, where's my circles gone that were here? He goes up here to sketches. And remember, these eyes turn on and off sketches. So the circle sketches are here, or the original sketch we did, and it's actually turned off. So if I turn the body off, that thing we've drawn will disappear. All right, so in the sketches, we've only got one body at the moment, and it's this. So I could write flat area, so I know what it is, the flat piece. And then I'd prefer to do that because then I know what I'm talking about when I've made these bits sketches. Same with sketches, that's the plane sketch, so you could call that whatever you want by double clicking on it. All right, I'm going to turn it on. That's what he does, so he gets his circles. He then goes, all right, I'm going to extrude these something, and then again here it says profile. What do you want to extrude? And you go this, and we do want to pull it up and down. He does pull it up a certain amount. He pulls it up 40 millimeters. So he writes in here 40. But he does do it in two sides, not symmetrical. So if you click symmetrical, it goes up 40 and down 40. But he actually does something tricky. He says, I want to go two sides. So I want to go up 40, but I want this one to actually only go down 20. All right, so that's what he does. By the way, down here by default, mine says join, which is what we want to do. If you wanted to cut it or something else, you can chop away objects so that occasionally you might cut away at something. We're going to join it, so I'll click OK, and there we have our tube where on a go-kart the steering shaft would go down through that, and well, that's what I'm imagining this object to be. All right, so now we're looking good, and we should see bodies here and sketches. I don't know why I don't have a tube body flat piece. I guess because it's all one part of it. But anyway, all right, let's go and draw a little bit more of this little piece hanging down the bottom here, or that on it. He goes to the bottom of this object, so you can click here and go, I want to see on the bottom, or you just click and drag. All right, probably easier to click on the bottom. He goes up here and draws a sketch somewhere on the object here. Okay, he wants a line, so you'll see the toolbar just changed. He draws a line. He does it purposely crooked. If I draw a line from here down, I can get it bang on 90 degrees. So see that little blue square that says 90 degrees or perpendicular. He goes and says do it off 90 just on purpose to be. He clicks like that and says, well, there you go, do that. It's clearly not perpendicular. He then says, oh, try this, select the line, and you can go up here and say, oh, I want it to be perpendicular. And I think I have to select another line. So I think you go that and then select with the shift key, shift the outer edge, and then I think, and then perpendicular, and now it's made them perpendicular. So another little magic trick he does, which he didn't, I sort of explained it, but he did it quite quick, and it was on a different toolbar, so it was kind of hard to see. All right, all we've done is drawn a line there. So we want to put a measurement on that. So we go up here to dimension, and I want the measurement from here to here to be 10. That's how thick the steel is in this case. and you'll see now it's a 10 mil. Everything else, this whole plate here was 10, so this is going to come down 10. He's now going to finish the sketch and goes over to extrude, clicks on, it says, what do you want to extrude? This bit, this bit, this. Anyway, he selects that little rectangle and he brings it down 20 from memory. And if I go over here and check, it's 30 in total, and that thing's 10, so yes, 20. Come back here, and I'll write in there 20. Enter. All right. Now it's starting to look like his thing, his bracket. Continuing on with our bracket, we are going to put in this little channel, shall we say, or cutaway in the top here where the 3 circles are, and I'm going to show you that. And if you're looking on this image, this plan here, it's this little rectangular row here. It's 16 millimeters wide, it's 3 millimeters deep, and it sits 15 millimeters from the back edge. Right, so they're the numbers that he uses. So he goes over here and he says, all right, I need to do a new sketch. Clicks on the sketch tool. I want to draw it on this face. And then it'll square up for me. And then I'll go rectangle. And let's just bang in here any old rectangle we want. There. All right. He then changes the measurements and says, oh no, you know what? This needs to be 16, I think it was. Let me just check that. 16, 15 from the edge, and 3 millimeters deep. Let's make it 3 millimeters deep. So you see here, I'm toggling over it. I'm hovering over this dot and the bottom dot. Drag it out here. At the moment, it's 5 millimeters deep, and I only want it 3. And enter. Okay, and then the last measurement is I want the little channel here. Don't know if you can see that. I want this channel that we want to be from here to here. I want that to be 15. That's pretty close. And then there you go. It sits there. All right, that channel now is in the right spot. And I'm going to extrude that. So I'm going to go up here to extrude. And again, the menu bar normally prompts you to say, what do you want to select, what you want to extrude. So keep checking this little square bar here. I want to extrude this little rectangle we've just drawn. Okay, do we want to do this or do we want to do this? I can tell you now we want to chop away that. Okay, so if I do that, notice down here it says cut by default. If I drag it up here, it's now thinking, but you want to add on it because there's nothing there to cut. So it's worth having a look, and also it's gone red, which means it's going to cut. So it's just worth looking. What is it going to do? It's going to chop away how much. I've just dragged it beyond my thing. You could write an exact measurement there, and you can do different things like a cut away in both directions. So if I click OK, it has now cut out that little slot, which is exactly what we wanted to do. Continuing on now with our bracket, we're going to put in the final little holes that appear, the 3 holes in this slot and the 2 on the back. Again, there is an easy way to do this. You can just go and draw 3 circles and position them exactly how you want. He does show you a cool feature that is something I will go and show you, and I'll try and attempt to do it now. So he goes into sketch, and again, where do we want to sketch? And we want to sketch in here, and I think he has to turn on or off one of these, and I think actually let me pause for a second. I saw what he did. He selected this little face here. So where was I? Not in sketch. I was doing yes, it was sketch. So circle, and I don't know if it's top. Actually, let me go back a sec. I'm not sure. and it gave me the option on which face. So if I go sketch, it's now saying which face do you want to sketch on. I want to try and sketch in the bottom of that extrusion we did, and if it won't allow you, I think we can click on there. So we want to click that grey face at the bottom of this little slot, not the top, not this top, in there. All right, and you'll notice it's now set. All right, sweet. I know what you're trying to do. All right, it's just spun around by the way, so I can draw in the bottom of that trench. I'm going to draw a circle. Click on the circle, throw it anywhere you want. There. Okay. The measurement of this circle is supposed to be 10, and then we're going to clearly go and make that 10 by changing the measurement. It is supposed to be in the center. So if you look here, the center of that slot would be 8 because the slot is 16. So I'm going to go over here to dimension and say I want the center to this line to be 8 millimeters, and it'll center it. Okay, and the distance from the edge, the hole is 10 millimeters. There you can see it, 10 from the edge. So again, he goes dimension from the center to this edge here. That should be 10. Okay, here's where he does something cool. So I could go and draw 3 more circles, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use a cool tool called pattern tool. So he uses some shortcut. I don't want a circular pattern. So for instance, if I had a series of little holes around this on this circle, I could click on circular pattern. It's rectangular pattern, and it happens to be up here in the top of the menu bar anyway, but it is this square looking thing. So up here, rectangular pattern, it'll say, what do you want a pattern? We want to select a feature. And from memory, I missed something. Just realized I haven't extruded that hole. So can that pattern tool, we want to finish the sketch, draw on the circle, go back home. At the moment I've only got a circle there, I haven't actually got a hole. So let's extrude and that hole. And again, do we want to add or subtract? We want to subtract or cut away. And then you look at it now and you'll see now you have a cutaway hole right through it. Alright, and this is where you go to pattern. I jumped the gun a little bit. I'm going to click on pattern. What do we want to pattern? We actually want features. Okay, it could be bodies, but he uses features, so I'm going to just click on features because it's a yeah, I think it's because we've only got one body here. If you turn off the body, that's all you got. But if we had multiple separate bits on here, we could select one and not another. So features is this one here, and I click features and it'll probably say select your feature. And he uses the tree, this thing down the bottom of the menu bar, see this, he calls that the tree. And there, every step we've done is here. So this was the original sketch, this was my first extrude, this is my, and you'll notice that the part is changing color as that's the tubes I extruded. Then I drew, I can't remember what else, probably this little thing at the back here, extruded that. Drew another little rectangle, extruded this one, this slot, and then I've drawn the circles. And now I've extruded a circle. So I'm coming down here to feature, and he selects this last one because this little extruded feature here. I might just escape that and see if I can redo without selecting. And I'm going to go feature. Let me see if I can actually select it. I think I can. So I just selected the cylinder without, and it, so it looks like you can do this or that. Okay, how many of these and what direction do we want to go? The direction. Okay, do we want to go up or left, right, or in and out? And so we've got to select something that represents the direction. So we want to come in this, on my screen now, it's a downwards. So I need a line that runs in a straight line downwards. So I'm going to select this or this or this. All right, so just click on it and you'll see here I'm running in a up-down pattern right now. Okay. I do actually want 3. If I want 4 or 5 holes or 2, I change the quantity here or in this little pop-up. That's 2 holes. I actually do want 3, and the measurement here is how far apart they are. So if I went 20, they're too close together. And if I go to this sketch, you'll notice here it's actually 20 and 20. So they're from the beginning to the end, or in the center of them, from the first to the last is 40 millimeters. So if I go back here, I want to write in this measurement here, or here, either or, 40. And you'll notice it's put them in grey saying this is where they'll go, and I'll go, sure, let's do it. And then I get a pattern of 3 identical holes. So that is quite a fast way to do multiple holes without having to redraw, redimension, extrude each one and get the spacing right. It just does it, which is pretty cool. All right, let's do it one more time on this back edge here. So I'm going to get my cube and rotate it, or click on left. Okay, I'm looking at this back face. What do I want to do? I want to sketch on it. So click the sketch tool, click on the face, draw a circle anywhere. I want that circle. Let's finish it. Oops, shouldn't have finished it. Let's go back. So notice I can go back down to this tree here and go, hang on a sec, right click, edit, and it'll go back to that sketch. The other thing I think I could have done is go back to sketch and click on this thing, I think. And I think I could go dimension of this and change it. And so, ooh, okay. I don't know if I'm editing the sketch now or not. Escape. I want to change it. So maybe I've got to select. Oh, let's see if I can select it. Select little circle. I'm just seeing if there's an alternate way to do it. Okay, let's go back. Well, how would I do it? Select it. Can I edit it? Sketch. Just try to see if there's an alternate way to get back into that little sketch. Dimension. Saying I can't chuck it on there. Finish the sketch. How would I edit that? There is another way. I'm just trying to remember now how to do it. Edit the sketch. Alright, so I can basically click on an object with my right key and edit the sketch. So click on the circle with I've got a mouse, so right key, edit the original sketch. I think that's it. And then I could go dimension and write 10. Okay, that's what we would do. If I undo that for a second and escape, let's pretend I didn't know I could right click. You can go down to this tree, this thing at the bottom. By the way, if you click play, let's pause for a second and show you what we've done. If I go down here to the play button, it'll run through step by step everything you've done. And you'll notice this bar has played. It's like you can pull it back to wherever you want and go, hang on a second, I want to look at it when I didn't have that, like any point in the drawing. And I think you can click first, pull the playhead back here and go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so you can go through everything you've done. I think there's actually a couple of, I think here I could actually delete, I think I made a mistake early on and I could delete one of those, this one or this one. So it's actually that one. I think I could actually delete that and it wouldn't matter because I was fluffing around and sketch number 4 didn't actually do anything. Hole. So by the way, see how it's got sketch 1, sketch 2, and it highlights it. This is where you could go in and say, hang on a second, sketch 5, 6 is the slot, sketch 6 I think is, what's sketch 7? Is sketch 7 the stuff up as well? Let me go around the back so I can see what I'm actually looking at here. Can't remember now. Pattern. So that one, sketch 5, I can edit it here, or I could change the name and say 5 is the hole. And then I know when I go back, I can look at my tree and go, hang on, where's the hole? There it is. You turn it on, you can edit it here. So sketch 6 would be the back face, and then I corrected it to 10 millimeters, I think. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that. Back to where I was. I've got to make sure this is in the right spot. So going here, that hole should be 15 millimeters from the left side and 10 millimeters from the bottom edge. So let's go and edit that sketch. Let's go into here and go edit and put a measurement on it. So let's go middle of the circle to this edge. Was supposed to be, oh, I'm in the wrong one. Let's try it again. Edit sketch. Center to here. That's supposed to be 15. Okay, and the distance from the bottom, so from the distance from here to here, is supposed to be 10. Okay, that's where it's supposed to be. Finish the sketch. I think that means this one might be, let's see what happens if I delete this. Let's cancel it. Let's play it safe. All right. What we've done is we've drawn a circle on there. I now want to extrude it. Click the extrude. It'll say, what do you want to extrude? That circle. Do we want to add or subtract? We want to cut away a hole. Click, yep, done. There's my hole. Now I want to pattern that hole. Remember how to do it. Create a pattern rectangular, and it shows you what you're trying to do here. Rectangular pattern. It'll say feature. Select the feature down here. You can click from the tree at the bottom or the tube here. It says what direction do you want to cut in, and we want to go in a left right. And okay, do I want 3 of them? No, I only want 2. And how far apart are they supposed to be? They're actually supposed to be 30 millimeters apart, which is correct. And okay, and there we have it. Magic. All right, it's a beautiful little command, that. So there we have it. Let's go and throw some color on it. So let's go modify physical material, or you can just change the colors of it here. Let's change the material. Let's be technical. Do I want it to be liquid glass? Plastic? Well, let's go metal. Metal's cool. And there's a lot of metals. So aluminium, anyway, they all look the same because it's different grades of aluminium. I went down here till I saw coloured, and I think on mine I clicked anodized blue, but let's, you can do brass. I can drag brass up here. I can drag red up here. So all it means is I'm going to drag brass onto the thing and go boom, there's brass. What's red look like? Let's go with red. Red's fastest. Close that. So it's anodized. So anodized is it's an oxide layer. Actually, it's not really a paint. It's much better than paint. Used on a lot of motorbike parts because very scratch resistant, and people who ride motorbikes like colours. So that's pretty much it. I went through on their little radiuses, so modify, and little fillets and chamfers, and that's where they live. They are up here in the top most popular menu bar, so fillet is very popular, so you can always select it from there. Notice it'll say, well, what do you want to select? You can do one at a time, but I held the shift key down and I selected every edge possible. So I went around the whole thing holding the shift key down. Let's just pretend I've done that, and then we might write on it what sort of fillet. I think I did a 1.5. What do you reckon? 1 or 1.5. Let's just go 1. Enter. I haven't done it all, but and just to show you chamfer. So chamfer is not as popular. So I've got to go in and click chamfer. Chamfer. What do you want to chamfer? These holes. Hold the shift key down, and then you can do them all. I can scroll and get the shift. Just and by the way, I might do the undersides as well while I'm more shifty. Shift. So I've got 5 holes, but both ends, so 10 objects, 10 edges. It says here what size chamfer. Let's go to the top so we can see what's going on. Let's do something dramatic and write 2 in there, and you'll see chamfer or counter bore or counter sink. That's quite a large chamfer, but I'd probably do a tiny little 1 mil or even a 0.5. If this is a real part, it might just have a 0.5 mil, but it's very hard to see it, so let's stick with 1. Boom. Pretty nifty, and you can zoom in and see my chamfer on those holes. I haven't gone around this edge and done the fillets on these, so modify, fillets, select, hold the shift key down, anything you want to fillet. And everything you want to fillet. I think we're doing 1 mil, aren't we? So basically I'll go around the whole thing. Missed a few holes, so let's go circle edge, hold the shift, this one and this one. I'll just scroll around, make sure I've got the other side. Yep, the only thing I haven't done is this bottom edge here, so if I wanted to do that I could, but I don't want to. 1 millimeter, done. Send it home, and there we have it. Red bracket. It looks beautiful. Yeah, so it's worth having a look, even just to play around at what do all these eyes do, what does this play bar do. So let's run it through the play bar again. Press play and it'll go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, bit by bit. Very cool, I reckon, this feature. There it is. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe.